As anyone who has looked up at the night sky can attest, there is something captivating about the universe. For years, people have gazed at the stars in wonder, trying to make sense of the infinite expanse. From distant stars and planets to nearby moons, there is so much to explore in our universe. While we may not have all the answers yet, astronomy has come a long way. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we will be taking a look at 3 new discoveries to uncover more about the universe around us. NASA's Cassini finds Saturn's rings coat tiny moons. Thanks to NASA's Cassini spacecraft, scientists have finally gotten the closest ever look at the mini-moons near Saturn. These new findings help explain the shape of the moons and what they are made of. The Cassini trip, which was the closest ever flyby, revealed that the unusual moons are surrounded by material from Saturn's rings. The moons are also covered by icy particles that blast out of Enceladus, Saturn's larger moon. Bonnie Baratti of NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory reflected, "The daring, close flybys of these odd little moons let us peer into how they interact with Saturn's rings. We're seeing more evidence of how extremely active and dynamic the Saturn ring and moon system is." The moon's blobby and ravioli-like shape can also be explained by the scientists' findings. The scientists found that the surfaces of the moons are highly porous, and as Baratti notes, a denser body would be more ball-shaped because gravity would pull the material in. One of the most important contributors to these findings was the Visible and Infrared Mapping Spectrometer, or VIMS, which collected light that was visible to the human eye and infrared light with longer wavelengths. VIMS was able to create a spectral map of the innermost moon Pan's surface. With this analysis, VIMS was able to uncover more about the composition of materials of the 5 moons. VIMS found that while the moons closest to Saturn appear red, which is the color of Saturn's main rings, the moons outside the main rings appear bluer, more like the light from Enceladus's icy plums. It should also be noted that the surfaces of the moons closer to Saturn were more altered by the ring's materials, and while other moons that are farther from Saturn like Atlas, Prometheus and Pandora had ring materials as well, they are covered by icy particles and water vapor from Enceladus, a broad outer ring of Saturn. Due to low fuel, Cassini's mission ended in September 2017, and despite the enormous amount of insight the mission provided, many questions remain, such as what triggered the formation of these moons. With this new data, scientists can model scenarios that could help answer these questions and possibly apply the insights to the smaller moons around other planets and even asteroids. NASA spacecraft finds crash site of Indian lunar lander. Despite being lost for months, NASA was able to find pieces of a small Indian spacecraft called Vikram that India attempted to land on the moon in September of 2019. If Vikram, a part of India's Chandrayaan-2 mission to the moon, had been able to reach the surface of the moon without crashing, India would have been only the 4th country to put a lander on the moon. Unfortunately, Vikram diverted from its planned descent trajectory and crashed. Despite claiming to have located the lunar lander the day after the crash, India never published images of the landing site. While the NASA spacecraft, the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, passed over the mission's landing site multiple times after the crash, finding the impact scar proved challenging. NASA scientists have noted that it is possible Vikram was hiding in the shadows. The crash reignited interest in the moon for many people, including Shanmuga Subramanian, an Indian computer programmer and mechanical engineer. He noted, "The crash landing of Vikram rekindled an interest in the moon not only for me and others also. I think even if Vikram had landed and sent some images, we would have never had such interest. For the first few days I was scanning the images randomly and there were a lot of false positives." In his free time, Subramanian took an active part in the search for Vikram's crash site and took into account the last known velocity and position of the spacecraft to determine where he should have been looking. After scouring the moon's surface, he was able to detect a white speck about 2/3 of a mile from Vikram's planned landing site. Amazingly, Subramanian reported his finding to NASA scientists on Twitter who confirmed his discovery and began searching the surrounding site. They found the landing point was about 2,500 feet from the piece of debris Subramanian had spotted. One of the most fascinating aspects of this story is the fact that Shangmuga Subramanian, a computer programmer, was credited by NASA for finding the Vikram lander on the moon's surface. This tells us that with the amount of information now available on the internet, regular people can make discoveries from the comfort of their own homes that even NASA cannot. This is something that was never possible before. Hints of a planet in the habitable zone of a dead star. This cooling process, in which the star's hydrogen also runs out, will happen to 95% of stars, including our own. While it is rare to find planets orbiting these white dwarfs, the first indications of a planet is the white dwarf's habitable zone may have been found. The researchers were able to observe the white dwarf using the European Southern Observatory's New Technology Telescope in Chile, as well as NASA's Transition Exoplanet Survey satellite. They were able to find planetary debris around the white dwarf, including structures the size of a moon. The movements of these structures suggest the presence of a nearby planet that is estimated to be a similar size to Earth and orbits close to the white dwarf. Incredibly, it has been estimated that it orbits the white dwarf at only 1.7% of the distance between the Sun and the Earth. Due to this finding, researchers have noted that the possible planet's formation or arrival in the area must have been a recent development, as in after the red giant collapsed into the white dwarf, because the possible planet and debris are orbiting so close that it would have been destroyed by the red giant. Professor Jay Farihi, the lead author of the research paper, reflected, "The possibility of a major planet in the habitable zone is exciting and also unexpected. We were not looking for this." However, it is important to keep in mind that more evidence is necessary to confirm the presence of a planet. We cannot observe the planet directly, so confirmation may come by comparing computer models with further observations of the star and orbiting debris. While more research is needed to better understand the nature of WD 1054226's planetary debris clouds, the study provides an exciting new lead in discovering more about our universe. Despite what we do know, the universe is still a vast and mysterious place, and we are constantly learning new things about it. In the past few years alone, there have been some incredible discoveries in astronomy that have changed our understanding of the cosmos. From finding hints of a planet in the habitable zone of a dead star to a computer programmer finding a crash site on the moon, we are continually uncovering never-before-seen aspects of space. But what do you make of these incredible discoveries to show just how far we have come? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Please help us grow this community by liking and subscribing to our channel. Thank you for watching.